Is it selfish for me to refuse to have kids because I want freedom? The question 2 is selfish toward who? Hypothetical people who do not exist. How is it selfless to create kids you don't want? Toward your parents for not giving them grandkids? That just absurd. Children aren't something to have just to please your family. Oh, this one. I used to get this a lot. To me, being selfish means you are looking out for yourself at the expense of others. Self-centered means you focus more on yourself than you do others, and there is nothing wrong with that. Since you have not created anyone to be selfish to in this regard, you're golden. Of course it's a valid choice. You are harming no one. These people who throw this out are usually pretty insecure and looking for martyr karma because of the sacrifices they make, forgetting that nobody asked them to, and taking care of your own children is not Mother Teresa worthy. It's a pretty basic universal yes, important, but that's not the point here. Roll. You birth them, you tend them, but you don't get a Nobel Prize for it. Ask them, why did you have a child? Most of the time the answer will begin, well, you wanted so you were selfish. Your child didn't ask to be brought into this mess. No, it's selfish of them to force up kids on someone who doesn't want them are child-free. I suffered, so you should too is all this is. Ignore it and let them writhe in jealousy. Hell no, and an entirely valid choice, more valid than having kids IMO. Given that we are at least 6 billion humans past carrying capacity and far into extreme overshoot, there are good arguments that people having kids are the selfish ones. You do not have to defend your position. Ask people why did you have kids? And most of them don't have a good answer, and they are the ones who are affecting other people and the world around them. If you feel like answering that why are you not having kids? Question, and you shouldn't ever feel obligated to answer at all. Some responses I have used singly or together include: the planet is at least 6 billion people overpopulated and am convinced that more kids equals more suffering of people and most other animals. I was never convinced I could meet my own acceptance criteria for parenthood excellence. And the always reliable, none of your fucking business. No, you are not selfish. You are a rational human being. Nothing wrong with not wanting to have children. I've always felt bringing kids into this world today is the most selfish thing people do, especially if they are not ready for it. Valuing your personal freedom and happiness is not selfish. Fuck people, they are probably just jealous you get to do what you want to do. It costs $500,000 to raise a kid from birth to 18, and no kid leaves home at 18 anymore. This is not counting the fine you get just for giving birth. If you're in the US, that can run to tens of thousands of dollars. You're making the only sensible financial choice. So, you are not going to have kids, no grandchildren, no great-grandchildren, and so on. Each one of those is an environmental bomb, as we all are. There was a woman on national radio in the UK used to bang on about plastic wrapping and reusable nappies diapers, but had 4 kids. Hypocrite. I have no kids, not by choice, but don't regret or pine for children ever. Do what you want to do, not other people's wishes. Not selfish. It's the opposite. People can choose to have or not have kids for whatever reason they want. The idea that it's selfish not to have kids is a weird argument. If you want to have kids and have them, that's a selfish action. If you don't want to have kids and don't have them, that's a selfish action. There's no selflessness to be found here. What's selfish is that they are trying to gaslight you into the role of women exploitation in the expectation that our sole purpose in life is to be a mother to children and a mother to husbands. Having children is a choice, not a must. You don't owe anyone else children. By default, if you're clear about your position on having children with prospective partners, that's all bases covered. But equally, being open-minded to changing your view periodically is healthy. No need to make a decision now for the remainder of your life here. Why would it be selfish? Have you ever asked those people that? The kids don't care, they don't exist anyways. I would even argue it's more selfish to actually have kids, since it's making the most important decision ever for someone who cannot consent to it. Which is fine, in a way. Please don't have kids if you do not want to. Life can be fulfilling in so many ways. I don't think so. It's your decision, your body, your money and time. I'm on the same boat as you. Like you said, people are pressuring you to start a family, but they are not gonna help you raise those kids, so it's none of their business if you don't want to have kids. I think the question is a non-issue. Maybe it is selfish, but you know what you're allowed to be selfish with? Your reproductive choices. I personally don't think it's selfish because there's no wronged party. Selfish is a pretty loaded word. Yeah, it's selfish in that you're prioritizing yourself over others, but only you can decide if that means selfish is bad or neutral. It's completely valid. It would be selfish if you chose to have kids despite wanting freedom. Don't have children. Read my story if you need more arguments not to.